All I have in this world is my balls and my word, and I don't break them for no one. Do you understand?
Radio Legends, Chaos Chronicles, and we're back again with another video. And today, so after doing my last few videos, I've been getting asked to do a few videos on more Underbelly characters. So I'm going to do that. And today we're going to be doing a video on Evangelos Goussis, or Ange Goussis, as he's better known. So yeah, before we get into it, rightio, I am the Chaos Chronicles, where we talk about everything Australian crime, prison, and there and that. And yeah, if you haven't already subscribed, now's the time. Jump down there, shoot that subscribe button, hit that bell. That way you never miss any of my clips again. And yeah, let's get into it. All right. So Ange Goussis. So I actually know Ange on a pretty personal level. So I probably, when I done my 9-year sentence, I probably spent 5 of them years with Ange. So who is Ange and why is he an Underbelly person? So anyway, let's just go a bit of a background. So Ange is someone who was somewhat of a prodigy in the criminal world. So he was a Australian champ kickboxer and he was an Australian champ boxer. And so there are, people talk about a time when Ange was at Loddon Prison and Machine Gun Charlie. If you guys do not know about Machine Gun Charlie, you can Google about him. But anyway, very, very good with his hands and feet, and done Zendukai and kickboxing and stuff like that. And it's a very well-known fact that Machine Gun Charlie come down from another prison to fight Ange in prison while Ange was at Loddon. And yeah, it's a well-known fact. All respect to Machine Gun Charlie, but yeah, Ange won that fight in flying colors and won it with a knockout kick. And so Ange was a professional boxer, and I guess that's how a lot of professional boxers, when they kind of get to the end of their career, kind of end up being a criminal. But I couldn't speak any highly of a criminal than I speak of Ange Goussis. So yeah, he was a professional boxer and became very well known for his hands and his feet. So if you Google Evangelos Goussis, you will see a lot of his kickboxing and boxing fights. And so he's more well known like in the Underbelly kind of scene because it's alleged that he unalived Lewis Moran and Lewis CAINE. And so he did go down on that, and it's widely believed that he took the rap for somebody else. It's a well-known fact in the criminal world that Keith Four, the actual character what Keefy George is based on, Keith Four. So it's alleged that he was Ange's co-accused, and so he got pinched on another like unaliving, and then started dobbing on people and dobbing on people for things that they didn't do. And unfortunately, Ange was one of them people, and so he ended up going down and getting charged for the unaliving of Lewis Moran and Lewis CAINE. And then during that time also he was fighting, if you guys don't know, the vampire killing case. If you Google that, the vampire killing, so him and a few of his mates were charged with the unaliving of the vampire killer. And so a lot of people ask why I say unaliving. It's because you can't say certain words or the video won't get through. So anyway, that's why I say it. And so yeah, he got charged, Keefy Four, and so he snitched on Ange and actually said that Ange done things that he didn't do. And I'll tell you something. I'll tell you, this is how solid of a crim Ange is. The poor bugger right now is sitting there at Barwon doing 35 years because he's as solid as they come. And he kept his mouth shut and, knows enough that he could have got away with stuff, but, solid as a rock. no snitching, and the guy is an absolute gentleman as well. But during the time when I spent my time with him, I'd done a lot of boxing as a kid, and so he obviously is a professional boxer. So we done a lot of training, and a lot of people used to always see me and him sparring down at the gym. This is at Port Phillip back when everyone could go to the gym at 6 o'clock. So if you were on enhanced, so at Port Phillip they have levels, right? So you have base, which is what everyone comes in on, and then after 6 weeks, if you're good, you go to upper, and then if you're good for 6 more weeks, you go to enhanced. And then when you were on enhanced, if didn't matter what unit you were from, every single unit could go down to the gym at 6 o'clock. And so it was a bit of a meeting place. A lot of shit used to go down there, but that's where I used to train with Ange, and the guy is an absolute fucking weapon. So let me tell you, when that guy kicks, I'm telling you, if he kicks you in the leg, he is absolutely 100% gonna break a leg. And I'll tell you one story that I know of, that I know that he wouldn't be worried if I told this story. So this was when we were both in Fishburn East, and so if you know, it was kind of a bit of a high profile unit at the time. There was a lot of high profile prisoners in there. And yeah, Ange was one of them. And that's actually where we became friends. And we actually became friends because I'd just come to that unit from Scarb South. And when I got there, I was only there for half a day. And I remember seeing him. Everybody knew who Ange was. Do you know what I mean? He's a very well known identity. So I knew who he was. I just hadn't met him yet. But I seen him. He was washing his shoes, and he went and put his shoes on top of the bin so they would dry. And so how I met him was I was actually out the back. This was back before smoking was banned. And I was in the chook pen having a smoke. And this guy went up and took Ange's shoes off the bin and just threw them against the fence. And I'd only been there for like half a day, and I just walked up and went bang, bang, 2-piece feed straight away. Sorry, I don't condone violence, but that is what happened. But anyway, Ange seen this, ran over, stopped me, and was thanking me, but said, stop, stop, stop. And so anyway, yeah, I gave this guy a bit of a hiding, and yeah, earned the respect from Ange. And then from that moment on, we started hanging out. And when I was hanging out with him, he was going through the vampire killing murders, and so one of my one of my biggest fights that I ever had in prison. And so one of my friends actually ended up with one of the first screws on the scene. She's not a screw anymore, and she said it was the scariest thing she ever seen. And so this actually happened because someone was on the phone. Ange was going through his murder trial, and this guy was on the phone at 8 o'clock in the morning, lipping off. Anyway, I literally smashed this dude's face in. I ended up doing 9 months in the slot for it. But anyway, I earned a lot of respect from Ange for that too, just because the guy was lipping off. I told him to be quiet. He said, yeah, all right. Anyway, I got back into bed. It was only just on, let out. And yeah, he just started lipping off again. I said, bro, please be quiet. Like, Ange's going to trial, mate. He's got to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. It was the weekend, and it's his only day off. He gets up because he's SESG. He literally gets up at 5 o'clock in the morning and has to get a special security escort to the county court, and then has to sit in the bus, like the secured armored bus, until the county court opens at 9 o'clock. He gets there at 6 o'clock. He's got to sit there in the bus until 9 o'clock. And so, anyway, I knew this. He was like my best mate at the time. Anyway, this guy was lipping off. I told him twice. The third time, I was like, bro, shut your fucking mouth. Anyway, he goes, you fucking rat. And as soon as he said that, I just ran at him and literally smashed his face in. And so, because people had heard him call me a rat too, other people jumped in. But like, literally, I was literally caving this guy. I seen security running at me, and I just didn't stop. I knew what was going to happen. I knew I was going to get a kick, and I just thought, fuck it. You know what I mean? He's disrespecting my mate. And so anyway, I earn a lot of respect from Ange for that as well. But also, there was this one incident where I seen him knock this guy clean out. And so anyway, I'm not going to say the guy's name, but anyway, I'll just say his first name, Dave. Anyway, he was lipping off in the unit that, Ange was old at the time. He was about 42. So like my age now. But I'm telling you, this guy was a weapon. Like, absolutely would snap your legs in half if you kicked you in the legs. Trains on the bag all day. Absolute fucking weapon. Like, this guy is a weapon. It's not fake. It's 100%. And so anyway, this guy was a bit of a hero, lipping off that he didn't think that Ange was what he thought he was. And so people had told Ange told me, and it was like, what should I do? And I said, well, fuck, bro, you know what you got to do. And anyway, he went in there, and I swear to God, it was just two of the crispest punches you've ever seen. Smack, smack, boof. Dislocated this guy's jaw, knocked out straight away, sent to protection. And yeah, it was like 100%. And so the way it was in that unit, so Ange had that much respect in the unit, it was crazy. So the screws feared him that much. He literally used to get the Herald Sun dropped off at his cell door every single morning. And it was out of fear, but more respect. He had that much respect. He's one of the most people I've ever seen in my whole prison sentence to have as much respect as he did. Like, someone that can turn a whole couple of yards to listen to do what he said. Like, this guy had fucking power, but at the same time, he was an absolute gentleman. I met his mum, everything like that. We actually used to have visits together. So his mum used to come in, my mum used to come in. We used to have visits together. And so I've got something here. So he actually gifted this to my mum. So I'll see if I can get it in shot. So what it is, so that's a painting of Pellegrino's in Lygon Street in Carlton. So he gifted that to my mum. So that was from Ange Goussis to my mum. My mum was actually born in Carlton. I was actually born in Carlton too. And so, yeah, he gifted that to my mum. That's an actually mad painting. And just the story of it behind it itself, because it was from Ange, and like, I'll absolutely 100% keep it forever. And, he gifted that to my mum, but my mum gave it to me to hang on to. But that's just to show how close we are. And like I said, I don't have as much respect for many criminals that I've ever met in my life than I have for this man. And this man 100% taught me so many things that I didn't know. And I will say that the person that I am today had a lot to do with this man. He taught me a lot about respect, dignity, and just about being a fucking real man. And let me tell you, when this guy spoke, people fucking listened. And yeah, that guy's jaw was absolutely busted. Two of the crispest punches you've ever seen. And yeah, escorted straight off to protection. And yeah, nothing done to old mate, because just out of respect, that's how much respect he had in the unit. And like, the screws literally, like, it got that bad. They had that many high profile prisoners in there. We all got raided one day, and they ramped the unit at like 5 o'clock in the morning. And they alleged that there was phones and drugs and this and that, and we all got split up. I got sent over to Scarborough South. Some people got sent over to Waxenby. Some people got sent to Salamander. But anyway, they split us all up. But yeah, Ange Goussis, one of the staunchest blokes I've ever met in my life, is the real deal, 100% real deal. When I say the real deal, and yeah, a man of honor and a man of respect, and yeah, an absolute weapon. When I say a fucking weapon, I mean a weapon. And yeah, I've only told you one story about him damaging someone, but I have fucking plenty. And the guy is an absolute weapon. When I say weapon, I mean, I can't even say it enough. I think I've said it enough. He's an absolute weapon. But there you go. Everyone's been asking me to do videos on, some of the Underbelly characters that I might or might not have known. And so, yeah, I will do that. I know that 100% old mate wouldn't care that I've made this video. That's how much respect we had for each other. And yeah, we all know that he 100% copped the raw end of the deal, kept his mouth shut, the most solidest crim you'll ever meet in your life, copped a 35-year whack and kept his mouth shut. Like, you absolutely can't respect a bloke enough for that. And yeah, there you go. Ange Goussis, an absolute weapon. Real name, Evangelos Goussis. Don't ask me how to spell that. I'm semi-illiterate. But yeah, Ange Goussis, one of the Underbelly characters, alleged to have unalived Lewis CAINE and MORAN. And yeah, an absolute gentleman, but at the same time, absolutely dangerous. And yeah, respect to you, brother. All right, if you guys have got anyone else you'd like me to do a video on, as normal, chuck it down in the comment section. I will see if I can do a video on them. I'm only going to do a video on them if I know the people and I know they wouldn't mind, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I am the Chaos Chronicles. If this is the first time you're watching me, this is what we do. We talk about prison crime in Australia and everything like that. If you guys have got any questions about prison crime, this and that, you'd like me to answer, sometimes I answer questions with videos. So if you've got a question you'd like me to answer with a video, chuck it down there in that comment section. But before you do that, smash that subscribe button and hit that bell. That way you will never miss any of my clips. And yeah, respect to everyone. My page is going so well right now. Respect to you all for watching me. I have been the Chaos Chronicles. Don't do drugs and crime and you won't end up in prison.
The Chaos Chronicles, where the